Hello and welcome. Today we're looking at the Eachine E511S drone. This is a foldable GPS quadcopter that highly resembles a DJI Mavic Air. It has a remote tilting 1080p camera with 5G Wi-Fi streaming. It has plenty of automated and GPS features such as waypoints, follow me, return to home, auto takeoff, auto land, and more. So let's check it out. Now the drone comes in this white rectangular box showing the aircraft clearly there in the front. And this is the Eachine E511S GPS quadcopter for ages 14 plus. And as you can see, it has the follow me feature and a pretty straightforward presentation there. At the top it has a handle, and on the side not much going on, just a side view of the quadcopter. And on this side you can see the transmitter with its mobile device, and it's a folding drone as you can see there. And here you could see another perspective or view of the drone, and on the lower right hand corner you can see a listing of some of its features such as headless mode, one key return, altitude hold, etc. And right here down below you could see there are a few offerings of this quadcopter, such as a 720p or a 1080p version. Also you can find this with 1, 2, or 3 batteries, so a pretty good package with several options there. And so now let's open it up and take a look inside here. Let's open the flaps and pull out the plastic inner portion here. And right away you can see the instruction manuals. It doesn't mention the make or model there in the front, but it is detailed and gives you all the necessary information on operating the quadcopter. And right here in the plastic mold you can already see all the components such as the drone, the transmitter, and all the accessories. So let's open up this top cover here and take a look inside. Right here everything's well organized, and we'll just simply place it right here. And let's start out with the quadcopter. There's a plastic protector right there, and as you can see it's all folded and compact, very nice. You can see the camera right here in the front with its two lights, and its folding legs, and pretty sharp looking quadcopter. It highly resembles a DJI Mavic Air, and very cool looking. So we'll set that right over here. And now we'll look at the transmitter. Very sharp looking transmitter, also resembles a DJI controller. And as you can see here at the bottom you can place the mobile device just like a DJI controller. And here's the bag with accessories, the charger, the spare propellers. There are 2 spare propellers, a screwdriver, some screws, etc. Here are the propeller guards, 4 of them. They're pretty large propeller guards. You just snap them on the side. You may need a little screw in the center to hold them in place, but that's essentially it. Now, since this package is the 3 battery set, there's 1 battery in the quadcopter and these 2 spare batteries. So very good set there, and each one is a 7.4 volt 1200 milliamp battery. So plenty of flight time combined with all those batteries. So now let's organize all this and take one last look at the contents of the box. Now, taking a final look at the contents of the box, we have the drone itself, and this package comes with 3 7.4 volt 1200 milliamp LiPo batteries at 25C, 4 propeller guards, the charger for the batteries, the transmitter, the spare propellers, 2 of them, the screwdriver with screws, and the instruction manual. So that's essentially the contents of the box. Now let's take a closer look at the drone. Now, taking a closer look at the drone, this is a very sleek looking drone that highly resembles a DJI Mavic Air. In fact, this is one of the better replicas of that quadcopter currently out, and it has a very nice rubberized finish, and it is a brushed motor quadcopter, And right here in the front, you can see its remote tilting 1080p camera with 5G Wi-Fi streaming. And they do have a 2.4 gigahertz streaming version as well. And it is a wide angle lens camera at 5 megapixels, 30 frames per second. And you can see its bright LEDs when you turn it on here at the top. You can see how they flash very brightly. And the 4 blue LEDs at the top do not indicate the battery's level of charge, as they're all always on. And here at the bottom there's an interesting circle. It looks like it could be for optical flow in a future version. And here's the SD card slot where you would insert an SD card and record smooth onboard footage, and you can use up to a 32 gig SD card. And here is its battery bay or slot. And now taking a closer look here at the battery, it is a 7.4 volt 1200 milliamp LiPo battery at 25C, and it does have this standard balance charge port right there, and it comes with a small balance charger that you simply connect right here, and the charger will have a light indicator flashing green while it's charging and a red light once it's done. And the charge time on this takes anywhere around 2 to 3 hours, so quite a while to fully charge it. But since it has what appears to be a standard balance port, you can try to charge it with something like a B3 Max charger. And if you can find an extension, you can charge it in one of these hobby chargers in a lot less time. So that's something to look into, as a 20-watt charger may only take an hour. But it does provide the quadcopter with around a 10 to 12 minute flight time, not quite the 14 to 16 minutes as advertised. And you have to make sure that this plastic inset right there is folded out, as the batteries can be a little loose when placing them in there. But overall, a good construction. You can see the wiring and the legs are very sturdy. They do snap into place, as you can see here, and it's very easy to fold in and out. You do have to fold it in a certain direction. You got to start with the rear ones, I believe. If not, you will not get a proper fold, as you can see there. So you have to fold the rear ones first, and then followed by the front ones. And you do have to align the propellers a certain way. But once you do that, you would have a nice fold, and it will be nice and compact, as you can see here. Very sleek and portable, and easy for storing. So very nice there, and also very easy to unfold. You can start from either the front or the back and just simply fold them out into place, and then fold the bottom legs back out. Make sure that they snap into place, because everything snaps firmly, so make sure it clicks. And overall, a good, sturdy, well-built quadcopter with good quality materials. It has a smooth, rubbery finish, and it is a little heavier than expected, so it probably exceeds the 0.55 pound weight limit, but it is a smooth flyer and has plenty of GPS fail-safes, such as loss of control return to home or low voltage return to home. So a very accurate and reliable quadcopter. So now let's take a closer look at its transmitter. Now, taking a closer look at the transmitter, this is a very compact DJI-like transmitter. And here in the back, it does take 4 AAA batteries, as you can see here. 4 AAA batteries held in place with this lid and screw. And going over the controls a bit, we have the on-off button right here in the center, and you can see the blue power indicator on the upper right corner. And then you have the left throttle stick, and if you push the left throttle stick in, it will enable headless mode, so the quadcopter will fly relative to the direction it took off in. So that's headless mode. And here we have the right rudder stick, and if you push that in, that will enable the return to home. And here on the upper left corner, we have a button to enable the GPS compass calibration procedure, which can also be done by moving the left stick to the lower left and the right stick to the upper right. And these 2 buttons will tilt the drone's camera remotely, either up or down. and these are the auto takeoff and auto land buttons. And this one right here will do an emergency shut off if you keep it pressed. And then right here at the top we have 4 buttons on each side. And starting off with this one here, this will start the video or take video. And then this one here in the back will take photos. And then this one right here will adjust the rates of speed. And then last but not least, this one right here will perform a circular orbit or surround, depending on the distance you move the rudder stick and drone. So that's essentially it for the controls. It does have these folding antennas at the top that are purely just for looks, since they're not really utilized. And this transmitter does provide the quadcopter with around a 200 to 300 meter range of control. Also, this transmitter has audible beeps for certain things like return to home or loss of GPS, etc. And last but not least, here is the mobile device holder at the bottom, and it is very large but not quite large enough for a tablet. And so that's essentially it for the control. Overall, a very comfortable control that could have been labeled a little better. So now let's take a closer look at setting up the quadcopter for its first time flight and its app. Now, setting the drone up for its first time flight is very straightforward. Once you have a fully charged battery inserted into the drone, along with an SD card, and fresh batteries inserted into the transmitter along with the mobile device, you first activate the drone by pushing its on-off button right here at the top and keeping it pressed. And at that point, you should see the lights go on and start to blink. And then you turn on the transmitter by turning its on-off switch on. And it should bind out of the factory. No need to move the throttle stick up and down. And next, you may want to calibrate the gyros by ensuring that the drone is on a flat ground surface and not moving. And to calibrate the gyros, you simply move both sticks down and to the right for a couple of seconds, and you should hear the drone beep and blink for a couple of seconds. Now you want to calibrate the drone's GPS compass, and you can do that 2 ways, either by moving the left stick to the lower left and the right stick to the upper right, or pushing the drone GPS calibrate button right there on the upper left corner, and you should see the lights start to blink in a certain pattern. At that point, you want to rotate the drone horizontally on its flat surface for about 3 or 4 spins. You just spin it around like so until you hear a beep and see one of the lights go solid. And then at this point, you should see the rear red light go solid and you hear a beep. Now you face the drone upwards with the camera facing up, and then rotate it 3 or 4 times clockwise. And once that's done, you should hear a beep and the front light should go solid. So now the drone is fully calibrated, both GPS compass and gyros, and it's been bound. And so now you want to connect to the drone's Wi-Fi and use its app. So let's do that right now. Now, once in your mobile device's Wi-Fi settings, you want to look for an entry that says Wi-Fi 1080p GPS with a serial number, and you want to connect to that. And there is no default Wi-Fi password or anything like that, so you would connect to that. If you have the 720p version, it may say 720p, but in any case, once connected, you want to go ahead and launch this app right here, which is LWFPV, and it has an icon of a camera lens, LWFPV, and it's in both the iOS and Android app stores. So you would launch that and you'll be greeted with this screen where you would hit the start button, and right away you should get a live feed from the drone's camera. And so here you have the live feed, and it's pretty clear, not too much latency. And the FPV range is around 100 to 200 meters with the 5G version, whereas the 2.4 gigahertz version is probably somewhere around 80 to 100. So that's essentially it for the live feed. And now taking a closer look at the app, this icon right here on the upper left corner will take you back to the home screen. This one right here will enable the advanced GPS features such as waypoints, where you can tap your waypoints and submit them, and the aircraft will fly them. Then there is the follow me feature right there, and then there is the orbit feature that you can activate also from the app. And you can switch between the map mode and the FPV mode by using the picture-in-picture. And here we can enable the virtual controls. This one right here will do the return to home. This will unlock the motors. This will do an auto takeoff. This one right here will split the screen, so you can put them in FPV mobile goggles. And then we have our photos and videos that you can take, and we also have the gallery down below. And here we have some telemetry such as height, distance, and speed. Here we have number of satellites, and then we have some other telemetry up here such as pitch and roll, voltage, signal strength, and we have some settings here where we can set certain parameters such as joystick settings, or even calibrate the drone's GPS compass here in the app. Here we have some waypoint settings where we can adjust the amount of time or height or speed at each waypoint if using waypoint mode. Here we have some map settings where we can choose to view either satellite or map views. And here we have some quality settings such as 1080p or 720p view. So that's essentially it for the app. Overall, a very good quadcopter. It is an excellent Mavic Air clone with plenty of features, GPS, fail safes, although you can take off without having a full GPS lock, which is indicated by having a solid red light. It will allow you to take off without having that fully locked, so that may be a concern. But aside from that, it is a smooth flyer. It isn't overly fast. It flies more like a camera quadcopter, but very sleek, very good, feature-rich Mavic Air clone. So let's take it up for a flight and see how she performs.